Ooh, hello. Hey, how you doing? Hey, guys. All right. How's everyone doing? Say hello if you're there. Say hi. I didn't really have a topic as such in mind first thing today. However, I decided that in the spirit of this beautiful day in Melbourne, because it's literally going to be like 26 degrees, which is pretty exciting for Melbourne because we don't get this kind of stuff day after day. Yesterday was absolute pouring rain and freezing, so this is a bit exciting. So I thought, you know what, in the spirit of this, I have a feeling from experience and from my clients in the past that when the weather starts to turn around, especially in a city like Melbourne, where you go from the horrible, horrible winter to this beautiful spring and going into summer, it tends to remind you pretty drastically when it does go from pouring rain and freezing one day to suddenly not boiling, but beautiful and sunny and, shorts and skirts and that kind of stuff weather in a day. It's kind of very sudden and kind of makes you shift like, oh my God, yesterday I was able to hide out in my trackies and in my jumpers and in my hoodies. And suddenly today I can't. Suddenly today I've got to dig out where my skirts are, where my shorts are, and oh my God, how do they look? So in the spirit of this, I wanted to touch on something that I go through with a lot of my clients a lot of the time, which is how to make any eating plan work. And I refuse to call them diets because a diet does, for most people, suggest two things. One, it's going to be really, really crappy and you're going to hate it and it's going to be tough and you're going to be starving. And two, that it's only for a short period of time, right? So it tends to suggest to you that you're going to be doing this for a little while, you'll get to the weight you want or the body you want, the size you want, whatever it is, and then you stop and you go back to what you had before or, something similar. But basically there's a short space of time, right, that you say, this is when I'm on the diet, and therefore there will come a time when you are off the diet, yeah? So this is why I use the term eating plan, but I'm getting way off topic. So let's get back onto it, right? How to make any eating plan work and how to make it stick. And this is a really big one, and it comes down to something I call, and many people call, resistance. And this is resistance to change or resistance to changing things, even though we want the change that it will bring. It's a resistance of what we actually need to do long term to make it happen, right? So there could be a resistance around the food that you're eating right now. You're obviously aware that the food you're eating right now has left you in the body, in the position, in the circumstance that you're in right now. And you want to change that because you want to change your circumstance, you want to change your body, whatever it is, right? However, whilst doing that, you also don't really want to change too much because you get certain pleasures, certain validations, certain happiness from the way that you eat right now. So there comes that bit of resistance where you've come to the trainer or come to your coach or whatever it is and said, yes, I want this, take me there, show me how. If it's a coach like me, that they're going to actually work with you to make it work for you rather than just, give you a plan that you don't enjoy and that you're not going to keep up. But if they actually want to make this long term for you, then they go to that effort and they go and make that time to actually think it through, ask you questions. What foods do you like? What foods do you not like? What's your lifestyle, all that kind of thing. And then they base the eating plan that they suggest around that, right? And also around your ideal way. So a lot of the time we may be eating a certain way or eating certain foods just out of habit, but if we actually think about it, it's not what we really want. If we were going to be talking ideally, we would change it. It's just that we've never tried it before, we've never succeeded at it before because we've never fully committed, which is a really big thing, to actually fully commit to a change as opposed to give it a go or give it a try. And so we've never actually got there, right? So when this coach or trainer or someone gives you this eating plan, you'll come to a stage pretty quickly, pretty soon actually afterwards. You might get through a few days or even a week or two where you're flying along, you're doing what's required, all that kind of stuff. And then you're going to come into a bit of resistance where you go, oh, I miss the cheese I had at night, or, I miss the breads, or I miss whatever it is. And by no means am I saying, that on the eating plans that I give clients, we cut out any of that stuff. We absolutely don't. I absolutely make it work for you. And that's really important. However, once again, we come back to, if you want things to be different, something's going to have to change. I cannot look at your food diary that you've given me, that you've come to me already eating, and go, awesome, cool. You're just going to keep eating like that, and we're going to get you to the body you want. It's not going to happen. It's just common sense, right? Like you get that. So something's going to have to change. And it can take a little while to actually commit to that, to actually understand that, because it's all very exciting and all very gung-ho. And when you're feeling motivational and, the sun's suddenly out and you're like, oh, crap, I don't have a lot of time. It's going to be bikini season before I know it, yada, yada, whatever it is. And you're feeling really motivated. And so, great, yeah, jump on, let's do it all. And you don't really think it through. And more importantly, you don't really commit to it. You kind of just commit to the idea of it, or the idea of the results that you're going to get, which is great, because you need to commit to the results in order to go through the process, right? If you don't go through the process, you're not going to get the results. However, if you haven't actually committed to this change in your head, in your mindset, and actually understanding that it's going to take a bit of a change, then you're going to struggle straight away. You're going to get into that resistance, and you're going to find that it's really bullshit resistance as well. It's not even good stuff. Like, not that there's good stuff, but like when you have tough resistance, stuff that's, almost a challenge to work through, tricky things that come up, that's great. That pushes you, right? But this is boring resistance. This is literally you being a little whinge and going, oh, this is really hard. I miss my cheese. I miss this. And I want to just sit down and eat my way through a bag, a roll of bread and cheese at night and whatever. And it's just really boring resistance, because it just comes down to you haven't yet committed to the idea that there's going to be a change involved. That's all it is. And it's one of those things that you're either going to get it or you're not. You can't get taught how to work through the resistance. It's a mindset that you have to flick on yourself. It's not one of those things that I can teach you, a technique or anything. I mean, look, there's heaps of stuff that you can try. If you haven't seen, like if it's cravings or something that's really the problem, then for sure, that's interesting resistance. That's fascinating resistance that I love helping people work through. That's why I've got my 7 things you don't know about crushing cravings free report on again at the moment, because I know that that's a big thing, and it's actually really interesting, because it comes down to more than just this mindset switch. It's your hormones, it's your body, it's your habits, it's your mindset, it's all this stuff that's, really getting in the way. And that's fascinating. So if you haven't seen that, I'm going to pop the link in just as soon as I'm off this, because I actually don't remember the webpage. But yeah, I'm going to definitely pop that on there for you. So grab that free report, because that's really fascinating. So if it's something like cravings, for sure. But if it comes down to something as simple as, I just miss that food, and I miss being able to just, chill out and not have to think about it, not have to plan anything. And this is a big thing. When you're wanting to make a change, whether it's weight loss or even some clients I have that want weight gain, i.e. usually muscle mass gain, right? It's always going to require a change, and it's always going to require a commitment to a new plan, right? So I think I just lost my train of thought. All right. So this plan that you're on, it's going to have you committed to it, to actually doing it, not to giving it a go, not to trying it. And this is a big thing that people do as well, that they get something new and they kind of go, okay, I'm just gonna give it a go and see how I go. And then I check back with them in a week later. And for example, something, there's only a tiny bit of change, or there's no change, and they're disappointed, right? Which is natural. We want to see the changes. We want to see them now. We want to see them immediately. But the thing is, if you haven't really changed anything, what do you expect to change, right? So if there's no change there, and then you tell me, oh, well, I kind of maybe did it for half a day, and then I kind of didn't, and then, oh, I was going to do this, but then I went out for dinner instead, and suddenly you're like, well, there we go. So we're just back to what you were doing before, right? So therefore, what's the point of even redoing the measurements, redoing anything, checking how you progress, because you haven't actually made the changes that require progress. Simple as that, right? So commitment to the plan and commitment to actually following through with it is crucial, because I guarantee you, there's a reason why I say when someone starts working with me, okay, we're going to give this a go. We're going to do this for a week. You're going to commit to it. And then once we remeasure, we recheck, we reassess. If there's something wrong, if it's not working, then we change it. It's as simple as that. And it's a very quick process, and you're going to get there to where you want very quickly, right? But if you're going to give me half a week when I'm checking for a week's results, and then you're going to give me a 50% sticking to the plan when you're looking for 100% of the results, it's not going to happen. And I'm going to tell you that because you're wasting my time, you're wasting your money, and you're wasting your time as well, because you're kind of in limbo. Like, you're sort of half committed, half there, half not, and who knows, in another week, another month, another year, you still might be in the same position when all it would have taken in the first place is just to commit to it and begin it at the time that you actually did, yeah? So sticking to this plan, and this is where it comes into any kind of eating plan that you may have in mind, or that your trainer or your coach or whatever has given you. Sticking to it is the best gift you can give yourself, because then if it's a good coach, if it's a good trainer and it's not working, something's going wrong and it's not giving you the results you want, they're going to know how to change it to fix that and to get it happening, right? But if you're only kind of half applying yourself to what you've agreed to do for yourself, you're the one who wants these results, right? They can't suddenly change your body for you. So when you want that and you haven't really done it, then, well, like I said, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money, you're wasting valuable time, because who knows, we never know how long we have. And this is a big thing that a lot of us forget day to day. We get dragged down in all the shit and all of the little things that happen and all the little things that go on. And we forget that we're not here forever. We don't know how long we're here for. And if you're not committing to it now, why do you assume that you're ever really going to get the chance, right? You assume that. Of course, we don't live as if we're going to die tomorrow, but it's a good idea to keep in mind that you don't know. You just don't know. And if this is what you truly want, not just in terms of your body and that kind of stuff, and a good coach will make sure that they have dragged out your actual goals from you, and not just the ones that society's told you that you want, or that the media's told you that you want, or whatever it is. But if you're truly aligned to your goals and to what you want to do and what you want to live and how you want to live, how you want to feel, how you want to be vibrant and happy and fit and just sexy as hell, and whatever it is, if you've aligned yourself to that and the coach has helped, dig deep and figure those things out for you that you want, why the hell wouldn't you want that right now? Why wouldn't you want that tomorrow, the day after, every single fucking day? Why would you not want that day after day, right? Because it's that commitment, it's that shift from still kind of hanging on, kind of looking back, kind of taking, sort of dipping the toes into the new water, but at the same time holding back a little bit, just in case it's a bit too scary, just in case it's a bit too much. It doesn't work like that. You can't go half-assed into your life. You have to use your full ass. I can't remember where I saw that. I saw that on a quote recently, actually. I thought that was great. Always use your full ass. Always. So coming back to what I said, how to make any eating plan work is really simple. Commit yourself to it. If you hate it completely, chances are your coach wasn't able to get the real way that this will work for you, or maybe they're just not the right coach for you, which is possible as well. I turn down people all the time that I just know I'm not going to be the right coach for, because there's someone out there better for them, right? I know the kind of person I need to work with, and I know the kind of person that I'm going to help, and I'm not going to try to waste their time and their money and my time, and therefore my money, because if I'm giving into training a whole lot of clients that I don't feel aligned to and don't feel that I need to work with, then in the end I'm going to be losing out as well, because I'm losing out on doing what I need to do and what difference I need to make. A little bit off topic this week, but I had a client that's been seeing me for a few months this week, right? And first time at the gym and everything like that, and their main thing was building up their strength, especially their upper body strength. And we were just doing the workout, the PT session this week, and during the session, the client told me about, on the weekend we had the AFL, which you probably know if you're in Australia, it's a really big thing, the Australian Football League. You can tell that I'm a football fan, clearly. the AFL Grand Final, and so a lot of people had barbecues and friends meet, hanging out with friends and that kind of stuff. So my client went to one of these barbecues and saw a whole lot of friends and acquaintances that they hadn't seen for a while, and told me that so many of them, like as soon as they saw him, that they just commented how much fitter, how much more vibrant, how much stronger he's looking. Just that he's just looks like a different persona and different person. And then he turned to me and he's gone, "It's because of you, Anna. It's all you." And like I nearly had tears in my eyes. And that's the kind of stuff that I feel on mostly a daily basis. There is at some point that I'm training someone or that I'm coaching someone that I will nearly be brought to tears, because I'm not an emotional person. Like, I'll never cry about anything. Sad stuff, whatever it is, I'm really, really unemotional to a lot of people. Not in terms of not loving or anything like that, but just in terms of it takes a lot to make me cry. But what does make me cry is when I'm aligned to someone and when I feel that connection and I feel that, yeah, this is what I'm meant to be doing. This is where I am, and this is exactly where I'm meant to be. And that was exactly what I felt in that moment. And it was beautiful. And to bring it back to the topic that we've got at hand here, again, the reason that this client has got those results isn't because, it's me, I'm awesome, right? But more importantly, he committed, right? He committed to the plan early on, like right on the beginning. There was no doubt that he was going to follow through with everything that we did. So that included obviously the PT sessions, but also the rest of his life, right? And this is a big thing, that especially when clients have maybe one session, sometimes two. I've plenty of clients have 3 or 4 sessions a week with me, right? But even outside of that, and especially the people that are only having maybe 1 session a week, there's stuff that needs to happen constantly in terms of your life, your eating, and coming back to the gym on your own. If you're not going to have more than 1 session with me a week, you're going to need to do these sessions on your own. And if you're not committed to that plan, well, it's not going to get anywhere. And that's the difference, is someone like that committed to it right from the beginning. There was no second guessing about it. There was just, I'm going to do it. I'm going to come in, and shock horror. I mean, the results came really quickly. The strength just went up phenomenally over and over and over. The stuff that, we've progressed from doing just basic exercises to really difficult stuff that, some of my fittest clients can't do now. And we're talking a few months of progress here. So it's a commitment. It's a commitment to the plan, and you will be shocked how much you will actually get out of it. Which brings me back to probably another saying that you've heard in the past. And again, I've got no idea where this is, but it basically goes along the lines of, if you had started the plan, the commitment to yourself, the changes that you wanted to start 6 months ago, imagine where you'd be now. If you'd started it 1 year ago, imagine where you would be now, right? And just take that from where you are right now and say, okay, well, why not right now? If I do it now, what's mid next year going to look like for me? How different is it going to be? And you've just got to make that point at some stage to just go, I'm done trying. I'm going to do it now. I'm going to commit to it. I'm going to follow it. If it doesn't work, have a great coach, have a great trainer who knows how to make the changes to make it work, because not everyone's different. And that's a really big thing. To have someone who can work with that is important, right? But you've got to make that commitment in the first place, to make the changes, to actually follow through with it, and to actually admit that, something's got to change. And you can't keep taking a step back every time you take 2 steps forward, or just kind of half stepping forward while you're sort of still hanging back into where the comfort zone is, because it's just not going to work long term. It's not going to get you the results. And once again, we're coming back to, what are you wasting? You're wasting your time, you're wasting your money, you're wasting your life, not doing exactly what it is that you want to do. And at the end of the day, we all need to be doing what makes us happy. We need to do what we are called to do, what lights us up, and most importantly, what makes a difference to others in the world, in our own way. And everybody's going to have a different take on this, and there's no judgment about what it is, what impact you're going to leave on the world. However, make sure it's coming from a positive experience. If you're on your deathbed, you want to be able to look back and think, whose life is better because I was in it? Whose life have I actually improved? I'm lucky enough that, I'm 30 now. At this age, I've already got, hundreds of people on my list that I've changed, which is fantastic. That makes me feel amazing because I know that that's what I'm meant to be doing. But whether it's, exact people's names or whether it's work through charity or whatever other business that you're running, that you're making a difference, at the end of the day, if you're providing a service of some sort, you are making a difference. There's a service that you're giving, you are therefore providing something to someone that someone needs. And what people need is what is needed to make the world better, is to make everything, to make a difference, right? So make this commitment and stick to it and stick it out, and don't just half-ass try, use your full ass, right? Make sure you really do. You give it a proper go, and that means sometimes, little tip before we go, right? Plan it out, okay? A lot of, if you've been following me for a while, you'll know that the way that I eat mostly is in the if it fits your macros approach. Roughly. I'm not 100% strict on it because I know that I don't need to be. And I also obviously am a big advocate of fasting, so that works for me. However, it's the commitment to that makes a really big difference. And if you are doing something like if it fits your macros, I always explain to everybody that it requires a lot more effort and a lot more work at the beginning, and then it is just so simple for the rest of your life, because it takes a little bit of time to wrap your head around what macros are, the fats, the carbohydrates, the proteins, and how to eat them, how to match them, how to find the right amount of grams for everything, and how to do this day in, day out. It takes a lot of effort at the beginning. I'm very well aware of that because I know I went through that as well, and it can be quite overwhelming. So I always make sure that I can simplify it as much as possible at the beginning before you then go into making it more complicated as you go along, right? But same thing, planning makes a really big difference. So if it fits your macros, or if you're doing another eating plan, whatever it is, planning ahead, maybe planning the next day before you actually eat it is a really big help, because then you already know you're on top of the ball, right? And then even if it comes down to eating the same thing for 3 days in a row before you change it because you need to take that time to actually work out how this all works, that's fine. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit tougher in the beginning, but then it gets so much easier once you know this stuff backwards. It becomes so easy, and then this is why I love this way of eating, is because you can eat whatever you want as long as it fits your macros. Yeah. But whatever it is, whatever plan it is that you're using, make that commitment. And like I said, my number one tip is plan ahead. Do it the day before. Do it the day before the day before. Plan a full week, whatever you need to do, and then just stick to it, right? Just give yourself almost like a dare to go, yep, I'm going to do it this week. And it's just going to be a challenge. I have to do it for 1 full week. Get your measurements, get your results, see how you're tracking, make changes, continue along, right? But commit from the beginning. This is a really big thing. Don't just go into it thinking I'll try this, I'll give it a go, or I'll do it mostly, but then when I can't be bothered, I'm just going to go back to what I was doing. You can't get 100% of the results on 50% effort or even less. And let's be honest, a lot of the time it ends up being even less. So get your 100% results by getting that 100% effort, by sticking to it, and following through on what you planned. All right. Any questions, let me know. Make sure you check out the link that I'm posting underneath as well to grab your Crush Cravings, 7 Things You Don't Know About Crushing Cravings free report. So make sure you do get onto that, and let me know any other questions that you might have, or anything related to this that you still have questions on. I'd love to know what you guys want to know about. Okay, have a great day. I'll see you soon. Bye.